Good morning, everyone. Hopefully everybody's doing good. Alright, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. We are going to do Law and Order again because Tuesday is Puzzle Day. So, um, that is what we're gonna go do. Thank you, Foxpop Pro. How are you? And it's going to be a short stream because I have an appointment with my tattoo artist to find out how much it's going to cost to do this sleeve the way I want it. Sounds good. Thank you for the lurk. I appreciate it. So, I am going to get stuff done, get it prepared. Again, it's going to be the Law and Order. I think we have like one, two, maybe two more murder mysteries to take care of, and then um, we want to go back and see if we could get to a 3-star. So I'm going to have my pencil or my marker, whatever, with my paper going. And tomorrow's Valentine's Day. So, hello, hello. How are you doing, Nub? How's it? Well, hello, Demon. Hello, Demon. You know, it's not Crazy Friday yet. Or is that your way of saying hello? That you're here? How did you like Minecraft? How was that? It was interesting. Well, that's good. At least it was interesting. I just, I don't know. I just can't get into it. That's me. I cannot get into it. But at least you give it a try, right? Is it something you go back to, or is it something that it just wasn't meant for you? Yeah. See, I don't mind building in a game either, but I think Minecraft is just, I don't know. I'd rather build in 7 Days to Die, I guess. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Yesterday was just hard to like freaking find a game because I was gonna try um Texas, but people were just idiots on their mic. I'm trying to think of what to stream today. Oh, well, I have a short stream because I have to go see a tattoo artist about the tattoo I want. Um, what are you trying to do for your Tuesdays? Do you have any puzzles or anything? Or do you want to help with my puzzling? All right, let's get right to it, guys. Of course, it's going to do that. There you go. I mean, I have Mondays for whatever, um, basically, and then Tuesdays is puzzle days, and then Wednesday, could be whatever. Could be probably play with the viewers and stuff, because we'll do horror clips like maybe once or twice a month, and then Thursday is the chill days. So if you have well, we could do 7 days to die on that day, demon. Or if you have Pal World, we could do that. Um, I'm actually looking into Pal World servers and 7 days to die servers, which would be about like 50, 60 a month. And I think what I'm going to do for those is I'm going to do um, subscribers gets the code. So that way, just not everybody gets code and then they come in and destroy something or whatever. But subscribers gets the code, and they get to come in and have fun and play. And it'll be open all the time because it'll be a server that everybody's playing with. 7 days to die for Thursdays. Okay, well, you know what? I could do 7 days to die with you because it's a chill game. We just don't have to put on all the craziness. So that way, one, you could get used to 7 days to die, and it's just chill and build and get used to all the stuff. Because I still have to get used to it too, because they did a lot of things a little bit differently than what I was used to. Because they've redid the whole entire city and everything. And then Fridays is when we do Lethal Company or 7 Days to Die with the Dixper and the points, and it'd be like totally fucking crazy shit. Thank you,
Yummy.
thank you. If that's what sounds good, Demon.
Yummy.
Thank you, sweetheart. Awesome. And if there is, I think, to be
Yummy.
honest, if there is any puzzles out there that you want to do, and it might be even like puzzles that uh we could do separately or together. Thank you, sweethearts. Thank you. Let me know because we could even do. I know there's a puzzle out there
Yummy.
um that we kind of can do together, I think. I'll have to look at it. I would have to look at it though. All right. Right? Like I said, you need a paper and a pen for this. If you guys want to help in chat, you're more than welcome to help to get the story we want. Love that too when you guys come in and you help and to take it to the next level. So I'm getting my paper ready for sure. Because there's little details. We can also go back to it and read it, but there's little details we need to pay attention to. So here we go. We're going to play as a detective and then as a lawyer. We did that one. We got a 2-star. So again, we're going to try to do all these again and get 3 stars. Person I normally play with on Thursdays changed their schedule completely because a game they have been wanting for is coming out. Oh, really? Well, that's okay, Demon. I'll play with you on Thursdays. We'll play 7 days a die. All right, so side effects. I bet you I know what this one's about.
In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by 2 separate yet equally important groups: the police who investigate crime and the district attorneys who prosecute the offenders. These are their stories.
Well, you get her on the phone right now and tell her she's got to go through with it. I move my schedule all around to accommodate this lunch, and I'm not about to... Yes, I know what time it is. If her beauty sleep gets interrupted, tough. Hold on. I've got another call.
Hi, Pro.
Trisha Vanderhook speaking.
Mom, you gotta help me.
Tag? Where are you?
At school. I've been shot. And, oh God, stay back.
Is this another one of your tricks? I told you, you're not getting another dime out of me, sonny boy.
What do you want from me? I'm sorry, okay? It wasn't personal.
Tag, can you hear me? Say something.
Oh, now you're upset.
What's the nature of your emergency?
It's my son.
Now she's upset.
Let me through, damn it. I'm his mother. Oh.
Friendly tip, Ray. If you ever decide to get murdered, don't call your mom first.
Right? Oh my God, that was funny, but that wasn't.
See if you can calm her down, Martinez, okay? And get her some water or something. We're going to need to question her once we're done here. So, what do we know about the workout king?
Tag Vanderhook, 18 years old, set to graduate from this school next month.
Holy shit, 18.
Nice scar on his face. Any other distinguishing marks?
Yeah, 2 bullet holes. First one passed through him here in the side and took him down. Second one got him in the heart.
That'll do it. Well, I guess we're looking for evidence of motive, traces of the killer.
Anything that'll give us information about the crime.
All right, so this is where we have to circle everything, guys. So we have to get clue concerning entry, clue about the motive, family connection to the school, ballistic evidence, time of death evidence. Okay, and something here. So. And then if we need to see again, it's right here. So maybe blood, maybe not. No. Okay, so we'll just move. Showing the door handle. That's because it's a keypad.
The door's spring-loaded, and it's got a keypad lock. Whoever shot our Vic must have had the code to get in.
Or the kid opened the door for his killer.
That could have happened. Really? No. Does it need
Look,
me?
trophy case has been smashed.
Oh, there's a trophy missing. Look.
Track and field awards. There's a medal missing from the display.
Whoever snatched it wasn't too careful. Part of the ribbon's still attached.
Kid got killed over a track medal?
You'd be surprised. I'm just saying.
Here, first bullet, the one that got him in the side.
Then a shooter must have been standing about here.
It's a long way from the door. This wasn't some drive-by. Our killer got pretty close to the victim before letting him have it.
A little exchange of pleasantries before getting down to business.
Okay, so now we need to look for something. It's like a plaque.
This gymnasium was presented, blah, 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 generous donation from the Vanderhook family.
Vanderhook, that's our victim's name.
Somebody didn't appreciate the generous donation.
And now we're looking for something else. What are we looking for? Clues about the motive. Alright. Oh no, the time, wasn't it? No. Not the time. Well, son of a bitch. I got that. Got that. Maybe something in his bag?
Looks like our Vic grabbed this to staunch the bleeding.
Before the second bullet
I already
finished him
saw it,
off.
or really, I already freaking like,
That the phone our Vic used to call his mom?
Probably. So last call was made at 6:05. Lasted 28 seconds.
And ended with a bang.
Emmy should be able to tell us if... Hey, what's this?
Where?
In the kid's mouth. It looks like... Wait a minute. Check it out.
A medal?
From the trophy case.
oh shit! Shoved that right down his freaking mouth, down his throat. That's some fucked up shit.
Mrs. Vanderhook, we know you've been through quite a shock, but we're hoping you can answer a few questions.
We're very sorry for your loss.
I don't want sympathy. I want justice.
Of course.
Sorry, but she's a little bitchy with everybody.
This may be painful for you to hear, Mrs. Vanderhook. We found this medal in your son's mouth. Does it tell you anything?
Yes, somebody didn't like my son. Tag has a talent for making enemies. He and New Amsterdam Prep are like oil and water. Last month he was thrown off the wrestling team. Last year he was badly injured in a fistfight.
Yes, it does, because of his scars and stuff.
Would that be how he got the scar?
I'm afraid so. Spoiled that handsome face, but what did he care? Tag had what one might euphemistically call an assertive personality. Came with the territory, him being a Vanderhook.
I was about to say, are your personalities any better?
Can you tell me why Tag was kicked off the wrestling team?
Unnecessary roughness, unsportsmanlike conduct. Apparently the full Nelson is an illegal move. Why exactly are you asking me this?
We have to follow up on every angle.
It should be a red hunter.
What did your son say to you when he called? Did he give you any indication of the killer's identity?
He tried, but I didn't give him the chance. You see, I thought it was all just a trick to get me to cough up money.
Think, did he say anything at all that can help us?
He said he was sorry.
To you?
No, to the killer. He said it wasn't personal.
Nothing personal. Everything's personal. Isn't that what he said? Shit. think he said nothing personal. I think it was. Yeah. I think he previously, yeah. Yeah. I think he previously, like, did something. Let's find
Should I
out.
recognize the name Vanderhook?
Only if you're ambitious, Detective. We prefer to stay out of the limelight. But think of the names you do know in this town. None of them would have succeeded without the Vanderhook blessing. Take New Amsterdam Prep. We Vanderhooks had everything to do with building this and keeping it afloat.
Yes, Demon.
Just
Hello.
last summer, I gave the school a new gym.
This gym?
Yes, detectives, the very gym in which my son was killed. The irony is not lost on me.
I know boys his age sometimes tend to keep their problems bottled up. Did Tag and you communicate?
Yes, detective, we had a model relationship. He told me everything and I denied him nothing.
Bullshit. You just lied. You just said that you fucking, like... We know wrestling doesn't help you against commitment, right? Like, wrestling... Well, he got kicked off the wrestling, so... Yeah, she thought he was calling for money. Lying sack of shit.
Pardon me for bringing this up, but if that was the case, why would he resort to tricks to get you to cough up money?
Excuse me?
Didn't you say you jumped to that conclusion when he called you?
Right?
This is how you work, is it? Seizing on every little contradiction and throwing it back in a person's face? Must be exhausting. As a matter of fact, our relationship did hit a rocky patch last month. April
think?
Fool's Day, to be exact. We had a rather nasty fight.
There's a Pokemon in chat.
Do you know why Tag came here today?
To work out.
Before school hours. How'd he get in?
All the students have keys to the main entrance. It's part of the school's philosophy.
Okay, so they all
To
have
show
keys.
we trust them.
But the weight room was locked. Takes a key code to get in.
Yes, that room is for the athletes only. He had access through his membership on the wrestling team.
Membership. Okay, so it has to be somebody that took the membership card or that is part of it. Oh, fuck. I missed that one. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Okay, thank you.
What did you fight about, if you don't mind my asking?
But I do mind your asking.
Now listen, Mrs. Vanderhook, we're just trying to find your son's killer here.
Right?
Then I suggest you start doing that and stop prying into irrelevant personal issues.
It's not
My son
irrelevant.
was a good boy, detectives, with a life of promise ahead of him. Now he's dead. That's all that's important.
Alrighty, so there's one that we missed. One.
I just don't understand how something like this could happen here at New Amsterdam Prep. We try
Bye-bye.
so hard to model peaceful methods of conflict resolution.
A good example is the best sermon.
Benjamin Franklin. It's been my motto as headmistress.
Mrs. Boersma, do you have any idea who the murderer might be?
None. Tag was such a popular kid.
No, that's not. Difficult to.
Mrs. Vanderhook told us he got in a lot of fights.
Yes, well, he was high-spirited, I suppose, but we all loved him. He was loaded with life.
Loaded is the word.
I
The
want
weight
another
room
locked door.
has a keypad lock.
Yes, that's a recent change. Some students were complaining that certain athletes were monopolizing the equipment. The lock allows us to monitor who uses the facility and when. We issue a different code for each sports team, one for football, one for lacrosse, and so forth.
Oh. Do we want to contest that? I don't want to contest it, I don't think. There we go. So each
Can
team.
you tell us who entered this morning?
Certainly. I just have to check the record. That's odd.
What?
There were 2 codes entered this morning. I recognize the second one. That's the code for the golf team. But the one that was entered at 5:40, that doesn't match any of the codes we issued.
Administrative code, maybe?
No, I've never seen it before.
A code she's never seen.
01010.
Haha, I wrote down the code. How did that get in there? How did it? What? How the fuck did that? How the hell did they get in there then? That's a code that you did not issue.
What can you tell us about this medal?
State cross country champion 1997. I'm sorry, gentlemen. I can rattle off academic records from memory, but sports records, that's another story. Is Coach Harvey in?
Country.
Well, when he gets back, have him give me a call. I've got a question for him.
Coach. Okay.
You said the first code was entered at 5:40. What time was the second code entered?
6:08.
608 was a second code. Okay. Oh shit, was this before the murder? No. Yes, maybe so. When did they say he was murdered? What time? Did they even give us a time? And that was when she was being a little bitchy with that other one too. $6:05 is his time of death? So no. Okay. Probably all of the above. The killer entered the golf code Tag entered a mystery code. Tag didn't enter the golf code. All the above. That's what I'm thinking too. Nope, we missed that one.
608? That's after the murder.
The killer went out and came back in?
Maybe the metal in the mouth stunt was an afterthought.
Yeah, maybe.
Coach Harvey? Yes, I know, just ghastly. Tell me something. The first place state medal for cross country from 97. Yes. Can you tell me who?
Law and Order.
Harris, of course. No, that's all. Thank you. The student who won that medal is dead. His name was Harrison Bedford.
Oh, shit. Which one was this one? Ah, I think it's the jogger. Yep.
Harrison Bedford, the preppy jogger.
That's right, he was a student here. May 17th, 1998.
And he
Almost
was
exactly
shot.
a year ago.
You followed the case?
We conducted the case, and please, you don't have to remind us we blew it.
I'm sure you tried your best. Such a tragic loss.
Could the two murders be related? Were Harrison and Tag enemies?
Well, not to my knowledge. We encourage our students to rise above petty feuds. Semper et infirmi est animi exeguique voluptus ultio.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Harrison Bedford had a brother in middle school, didn't he?
Not anymore. Franklin's here at New Amsterdam this year. He's a freshman.
What about the girlfriend? What's her name?
Ooh. I think it might be. Fuck, what was the girlfriend's name? See, this is why I said we have to do notes, but I didn't write down the freaking names because I didn't think they were important because it was, hey, it's just that. Yeah, I don't think I have any of the names written down. We'll just yeah, we missed that one. I knew we did.
Allison Conway.
Yes, she's a senior, transferred here at the start of the school year, sponsored by Mr. Bedford.
Are both kids in school today?
Well, they should be. Yes. Oh, I remember seeing Allison's Mercedes in the lot when I arrived.
We'll need to talk to them.
But they're in class. I hate to disrupt the students' education.
It's our education I'm thinking about right now.
That one was kind of screwy. I'll give it that.
So, Allison Conway goes to prep school now.
Conway.
Mr. Bedford is a generous fellow.
Probably helps that Allison gave birth to his grandson.
Here's one case where being a teenage mother moves you up the social scale.
Oops.
Detective Briscoe, Detective Curtis.
Nice to see you, too.
I guess this is about Tag Vanderhook.
News travels fast.
We'd like to ask you a few questions.
You know, there's another murder that's still unsolved.
Right. We're investigating whether there might be a connection. Did you know the victim?
Tag? Sure. I mean, a little. This is a small school. It's hard not to know everybody a little. And Tag wasn't the type to blend into the woodwork.
How long have you known him?
Since September, I guess.
Gotta get this screwed up, I swear. Maybe? Okay.
What'd you think of him?
Everyone kowtowed to Tag because of his mom's money. He liked to brag about his conquests in class, and the teachers were too spineless to shut him up. I kept my distance.
So you weren't one of his conquests?
God, no. As if.
Okay.
Something peculiar about this murder.
Tag had a medal shoved in his mouth. Harrison's medal, right?
How do these things get out?
It's a high school, detective. So, who do you think put it in there? Harrison's ghost?
Would he have reason to? Did he have something against Tag?
When me and Harrison were together, we didn't waste time talking about Tad Vanderhook, okay? But he did stick up for me once when Tag was a real ass.
Nope.
I thought you first met Tag this past September.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Not counting that house party last spring.
Tell us about that house party.
Harrison wanted to introduce me to his prep school friends. Tag wasn't invited, but he showed up anyway. About midnight. He got in my face and called me Harrison's little Brooklyn bitch. Harrison got him in a headlock and made him apologize. Totally humiliated him. It was awesome.
And that was the end of it? Tag ran off with his tail between his legs?
I don't really remember how it ended, to be honest. I was pretty wasted at the time. I passed out not too long afterwards.
Where were you at 6 o'clock this morning?
6 o'clock? I was at home.
Home is still in Brooklyn?
No, I live with the Bedfords now, ever since Brendan was born. I thought you knew that.
Memory's the first thing to go.
Can anyone confirm your whereabouts?
Sure, the whole household was up at 6. Brendan was throwing one of his famous tantrums. He's got a scream that could shatter glass.
Pokemon in chat. So. Let's see. Thank you. Oh, no, she's not really truthful. Thank you. It could be corroborate, yeah.
I tried to sneak canned baby food onto his plate and he caught on. So I have to go down to the kitchen and mix him up a fresh batch in the blender.
Kid's got discriminating tastes.
He's a Bedford.
Okay, so.
How old's the little guy now?
6 months. You should see him. So full of energy. He rolled over for the first time last week.
That's great.
Hate to be a killjoy, but shouldn't we get back to the subject at hand?
Yep, okay. So, yeah.
What makes your baby food so special?
Arugula. I know, kids are supposed to hate stuff like that, right? But Bendy inhales it. I call him Bendy.
Let's get back to the murder, okay?
Yeah.
Franklin Bedford's supposed to be in gym right now, but we didn't see him on the basketball court.
He's off with the golf team at the Chelsea Piers driving range. They've got a big tournament coming up, and the coach has them all practicing their swings. What? Check with Mr. Tate if you don't believe me.
Driving range.
Golf on a day like this. It's been pouring all morning.
The driving range is covered now.
Must have happened after they revoked your membership.
You live in the same house as Franklin. Was he there at 6?
Sure, I assume.
You didn't see him.
No, I mean, he would have still been asleep at that hour.
Mm-mm.
You told us nobody could sleep on account of your baby.
Hello,
Nobody
church.
except Franklin, I meant. That kid could sleep through anything.
Did you actually see Franklin this morning?
No.
Are you off today or are you having lunch?
Tag insults you. Harrison attacks Tag. And later, Harrison is dead. I guess people must have pointed fingers.
At Tag? Like I said, I hardly knew him. When you guys ruled him out as a suspect, I never gave him another thought.
What about the people who did know him?
I guess a lot of the kids around here kept on thinking he might have been involved.
Did Tag do anything to dispel their suspicions?
Tag was a bully. I think he liked having people think he was a killer, especially the younger kids.
Kids like Franklin.
Thanks, Allison.
Now
We'll
just
be in
chilling.
touch.
You think our boy Franklin is the killer?
Pieces seem to fit.
So, if he entered the golf team code to get back into the weight room after the murder, who entered the first code?
The mystery code? Well, could have been Tag himself. His weight room privileges were revoked when he got kicked off the wrestling team, but his mom said he was good at getting around the rules.
Yeah.
So then Tag let Franklin in.
Not realizing the kid had a gun and meant business.
It's a good theory. Not enough evidence for an arrest.
Not yet. Come on, let's find some.
Can't you just talk to him when he gets back from the driving range?
We intend to do that, but in the meantime, we need to take a look in his locker.
Oh, you can't do that without a warrant.
No, but you can. New Jersey versus TLO. Back in '85, Supreme Court decided school administrators have the right to search lockers, provided they have just cause for suspicion.
You've done your homework, Detective. I'm impressed. Still, I don't know. Franklin Bedford's always been a well-behaved student.
We think Franklin blamed Tag for his brother's death.
Oh dear. I'm not unaware of the rumors that have been circulating around the school.
Revenge is a powerful motivator, Mrs. Boersma.
I suppose I should open that locker for you.
You think?
Here it is, number 224. What exactly are you expecting to find?
We'll know it when we see it. Bingo.
Uh-oh.
See you at lunch, Tyler.
Franklin Bedford, where were you this morning at 6?
Why? What's this about?
Little matter of a murder weapon we found in your locker. Care to explain? Book him.
You are under arrest for the murder of Tag Vanderhook. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to a lawyer.
No confession yet?
Not a word. They must teach counter-interrogation at that fancy prep school.
Time to turn up the pressure.
Good cop, bad cop?
Mm-hmm. He's only 15. He's not too old to cry. You get him there, then I'll turn on the compassion and bring him home.
I'm sick of waiting for a confession from this punk. We got the weapon, we got the motive. At this point, he's just wasting our time.
Go easy, detective. Come on, Franklin. Come clean. It'll be a lot easier for everybody if you do.
My client maintains he's innocent.
Give me a break. Where's a little kid like you get a hold of a Walther P-22? Daddy give it to you for first communion?
Hey, that's a good gun.
My client has no idea how that weapon got into his locker.
For Christ's sakes. You hated Tag, didn't you? Of course you did. Harrison didn't like him a bit, and you wanted to be just like Harrison.
Don't talk about my brother.
Franklin, it's okay.
He killed your brother. At least that's what you thought. You did it in the name of justice. The DA will recommend leniency.
Sure, Harrison was your hero. Great athlete, big man on campus, the perfect older brother. But the hero died, and his enemy went on living. It must have burned you up every time you saw Tag's smirking face in the hall. Knowing how he got away with murder.
Shut up. Shut up! You don't know what really happened.
Don't take the bait.
Everybody knew Tag killed your brother, but nobody could touch him. There he was, walking around free, laughing about Harrison, telling everybody what a loser Harrison was.
Lies. It was all lies! He was a damn liar, and so are you. He deserved it. He deserved what he got.
Franklin, watch yourself.
Sure, you had every right to be outraged. And you had access to a gun?
My dad's safe. I found the combination.
So you stashed it in your locker, and when the opportunity presented itself...
But I didn't. I wanted to. I admit it. I brought the gun to school, but then everybody started whispering, and I couldn't go through with it. I wasn't the one who shot Tag, I swear.
Then who did?
I don't know.
Close enough to a confession for me.
I think it was a girlfriend.
Docket number 4258677. People versus Franklin Bedford. Felony murder in the first degree.
How does your client plead, Mr. Vance?
Innocent, Your Honor.
Your Honor, the people request bail in the amount of $500,000.
That's excessive. My client is a juvenile.
So was the victim. Franklin Bedford shot him in cold blood and then returned to desecrate the body. Under the circumstances, $500,000 is warranted.
Last year, I had a young man disappear to Europe after making bail on a drunk driving charge. I'd like to see Franklin stick around. $500,000.
Fine. I'll cut you a check. You bastards aren't gonna take him from me.
Mr. Bedford.
Ha! This is... You can't find Harrison's killer, and now you want to haul Franklin off on trumped-up charges. Well, we're gonna beat you. Don't you worry, son. We're gonna win this thing.
Mr. Bedford,
It's in the
you are
bag.
out of order.
The gun must be ruled inadmissible.
The gun is the critical piece of evidence in the case, Your Honor.
Illegal search and seizure. It was obtained without a warrant.
The police were within their rights. New Jersey versus TLO established that school administrators can search students' lockers given reasonable cause for suspicion. The circumstances of the crime naturally threw suspicion on the accused.
And the locker was in fact opened by an administrator.
By the headmistress, yes.
Then I'm dismissing the motion to suppress.
So we won that one.
Mr. Bedford, is your son capable of murder?
Of course not. Why, Franklin helped to organize the Youth Anti-Violence March in the park last fall.
Would I like to object? Maybe?
Objection.
Irrelevant?
Irrelevant. The defendant's opposition to violence in the abstract can't be taken as evidence against his propensity for actual violence.
Sustained. Please strike that from the record.
Tag Vanderhook was shot at 6 a.m. May 6th.
At which time Franklin was home.
You can swear to this?
With pleasure. Now, let's be honest. This trial is a farce. My son has been targeted because he's a Bedford. Certain factions in this city want to see us cut down to size.
Objection. The defendant is speculating about the people's motives. We intend to prove this case on the evidence.
Objection sustained. You're not doing yourself any favors, Mr. Bedford.
Tell us about your interactions with your son on the morning of the 6th.
I woke up about a quarter after 5 to the sound of his golf swing. And that happens every morning in season. He likes to practice in the yard at sunrise. We had breakfast together half an hour later, as usual, and after that, I dropped him off at school.
You drove him personally?
Yes, as a matter of fact. Usually he rides with Allison, but she took the bus that day.
No witness, Mr. McCoy.
No, she didn't.
Mr. Bedford, are you aware that perjury is a federal offense?
I stand by my testimony.
All of it? You personally drove Franklin to school?
In the Mercedes, yes. Allison was delayed by the baby that morning, as I recall, so she had to catch a bus.
Mrs. Boersma, the headmistress, told us that Allison
Oh,
drove the Mercedes to
okay.
school that morning.
She was mistaken.
So,
You testified that Franklin's golf practice woke you up.
Yes.
Pokemon in chat, golf in chat. Pokemon in chat.
He's very committed to improving his drive. I fully support him in his ambition, but unfortunately, the backyard borders my bedroom.
I mean, it's plausible, but no.
Your son must be very committed, considering it was pouring rain on the morning of the murder.
He may have been practicing in the study. I don't recall.
Practicing his drive in the study. I hope you don't have any Tiffany lamps in there. You two had breakfast together.
As we do every morning.
Allison Conway said she never saw Franklin that morning.
Well, of course she wouldn't. As a rule, Allison stays in her room with the baby till it's time for her to go to school.
Liar.
Allison told us she had been down to the kitchen that morning.
What can I say? The two of them just missed each other.
The murder weapon was found in Franklin's locker. Perhaps you can tell the court where it came from.
I have no idea where it came from, but it was obviously planted there by the murderer.
Mr. Bedford, Franklin has already confessed to taking that gun from your safe.
Yes, well, all right, but not to pulling the trigger. I'm telling you, he was framed. Franklin was framed.
What's that? Your Honor, my client has some information to impart privately.
Are you requesting a recess?
I think I'm requesting a continuance.
Yes, Franklin Bedford was here that morning. He signed in at 5:48, and the nurse processed his paperwork at 6:40.
Are you sure it was May 5th? This is very important, Dr. Markovich.
Quite sure. Tissue samples arrived at the DNA lab at 10 a.m. on the same day. Results haven't come back yet.
DNA lab? Can you tell me the nature of the tests?
Franklin hasn't said?
No.
Then I'm afraid I have to invoke doctor-patient privilege.
Okay, out with it.
Huh?
You were willing to risk going to jail rather than admit you were at the clinic on the morning of the murder.
So? The alibi checked out. As far as you're concerned, that's where the matter ends.
The matter ends when my curiosity is satisfied. Why did you visit the clinic on May 5th?
They think I might have AIDS.
I don't think so.
Nice try. Your tissues were sent to a DNA lab. They don't test for AIDS by analyzing your DNA.
All right, it's not AIDS. It's a genetic disease. I don't remember what it's called.
If it's a genetic disease, then your dad's at risk. Let's call him right now.
Wait. I went in for a paternity test. I
Told
brought
you.
them a tissue sample from Allison's baby to find out if Harrison's really the father.
If not Harrison, then who?
Tag.
Tag?
I ran into him the Sunday before he died, when I was out pushing Brendan in his stroller. He started talking smack, acted like he was gonna mess with the baby. I told him to get back, and he was like, doesn't a father have rights anymore?
That's it.
Well, you know, it made me start to wonder.
Let me get this straight. Based on one smartass comment from Tag, you made arrangements to get a paternity test, then risked a murder conviction to keep it a secret? You took him that seriously?
Yeah, I took him seriously. Tag wasn't the kind of guy to tell lies for no reason.
It could be. Nope.
You told Detective Briscoe and Curtis that Tag told nothing but lies.
Yeah, but...
And you've been telling nothing but lies in this interview. Why didn't you tell the truth?
I wanted to protect Allison. She doesn't know about it.
She doesn't know. What do you mean she doesn't know?
I can't explain.
Is the paternity test a lie as well?
No, look, I didn't believe Tag at first. Like you said, the dude was a liar, and I knew Allison couldn't stand him. But he kept needling me about it, telling me that Harrison knew all about him and Allison, and then, a couple days later, this came in the mail.
Enjoy the show. Everybody else has. I haven't seen my share of the box office, but that's about to change. Tag.
Don't say anything to my dad, okay? He might take it bad, and Allison, she's part of the family now, her and Brendan. I just don't want to be the one who spoils it.
Okay, boys and girls, here she is in all her glory. Allison Conway, Harrison Bedford's little Brooklyn bitch. Poor girl can't hold her Jack and Coke.
This must have been shot at that party last spring.
That's right. Allison told us she passed out that night, and there's the evidence. I assume our narrator is Tag.
Miss Allison here is attempting to sleep her way into high society, literally. Too bad she never learned the rule. You can't rise without the Vanderhook blessing.
I think I know where this is going.
So just to prove what a big-hearted guy I am, I'm gonna give it to her anyway. Watch closely, Harrison, buddy.
And it goes on from there.
I can understand why Franklin didn't want this to get out. Allison is like a sister to him.
But what does this do for our case? If Franklin didn't do it...
Then somebody framed him. Someone who had access to the weight room and Franklin's locker.
Could be Allison herself, if she knows about the video.
I think we need to have another talk with her. Should we tell her everything up front?
We got no choice. Paternity of her child is in question. If she doesn't know that, she needs to.
Come on, Ray, she's just a kid. Her world has already been blown apart once. Last thing she needs right now is news like this. Why not wait until the test results are in? If Harrison's the father, she never needs to learn about the video.
I don't know. I think you need to tell her. Tell her, that's what I'm thinking.
Watch closely, Harrison, buddy. You might learn a thing or two.
Turn it off. Turn it off!
If you need to be alone for a while, we can leave.
No. Who else knows about this? Who knows what he... Oh, God.
That's what we're trying to find out.
We have some reason to believe that he sent it to Harrison.
Then that explains the attack.
What attack?
Somebody ambushed Tag, split his face wide open. They never told us who did it, but the rumor was it was Harrison. I didn't know whether to believe it. I mean, I knew he was pissed at Tag for insulting me, but he wasn't the type to go postal like that.
When you say they never told you who attacked Tag, what do you mean? Who's they?
Mrs. Boersma and the secretaries. They heard the screams and ran out into the hall.
Wait, you're saying the fight happened at New Amsterdam?
Oh, no.
If this is true, why didn't Mrs. Boersma say anything?
Beats me. I wasn't there. I'm just telling you what the other kids have told me. Supposedly, Mrs. Boersma hauled Harrison into her office, but it's not like he got expelled or anything. And then a week after that, he was dead.
Your baby Brendan.
What about him?
There seem to be some doubts about his parentage.
Oh God, no. Don't tell me.
There's no proof either way.
He's Harrison's son. He's Harrison's son.
Why did nobody tell us this when we were investigating Harrison's murder? If what you're saying is true, then Tag had a motive.
Tag was already gone when Harrison was killed.
Gone? Gone where?
His mom pulled him out of school and sent him off to California to recuperate. They say she was furious with New Amsterdam, swore that the Vanderhooks were done with it.
Shit, does this fit with the timeline? No, it doesn't.
But then she turned around and donated a gym to the school that summer.
And Tag was back in the fall, like nothing was wrong.
Something's wrong with this picture. Thanks for being forthcoming, Allison.
Are you gonna be okay?
I just need some time to think. Everything's different now, you know?
God help her if that baby turns out to be Tag's.
We're gonna try it again.
Watch closely, Harrison, buddy. You might learn a thing or two.
Turn it off. Turn it off!
If you need to be alone for a while, we can leave.
No. Who else knows about this? Who knows what he... Oh, God.
That's what we're trying to find out.
We have some reason to believe that he sent it to Harrison.
Then that explains the attack.
What attack?
Somebody ambushed Tag, split his face wide open. They never told us who did it, but the rumor was it was Harrison. I didn't know whether to believe it. I mean, I knew he was pissed at Tag for insulting me, but he wasn't the type to go postal like that.
When you say they never told you who attacked Tag, what do you mean? Who's they?
Mrs. Boersma and the secretaries. They heard the screams and ran out into the hall.
Wait, you're saying the fight happened at New Amsterdam?
Shorty Set was at the party, didn't she? Isn't that what happened? I think it was a party. Nope, it was not. It was not. There's a Pokemon in chat. So it must be that the headmistress says that she had no recollection of
If
it.
this is true, why didn't Mrs. Boersma say anything?
Beats me. I wasn't there. I'm just telling you what the other kids have told me. Supposedly, Mrs. Boersma hauled Harrison into her office, but it's not like he got expelled or anything. And then a week after that, he was dead.
Your baby Brendan.
What about him?
There seem to be some doubts about his parentage.
Oh, God, no. Don't tell me.
There's no proof either way.
He's Harrison's son. He's Harrison's son.
Why did nobody tell us this when we were investigating Harrison's murder? If what you're saying is true, then Tag had a motive.
Tag was already gone when Harrison was killed.
Gone? Gone where?
His mom pulled him out of school and sent him off to California to recuperate. They say she was furious with New Amsterdam, swore that the Vanderhooks were done with it.
minute. That's what I'm thinking. No.
But then she turned around and donated a gym to the school that summer.
And Tag was back in the fall, like nothing was wrong.
Something's wrong with this picture.
Maybe Europe?
Thanks for being forthcoming, Allison.
Are you gonna be okay?
I just need some time to think. Everything's different now, you know?
God help her if that baby turns out to be Tag's.
Furious at New Amsterdam? Of course I was furious. My son was savagely beaten in their halls. His face had to be sewn back together.
And yet you made a huge bequest just 3 weeks later. It doesn't square up. Why the change of heart?
Tag convinced me to do it. Despite what had happened, he was devoted to the school. He told me it was the one place in all the world where he felt truly accepted.
Nope, don't believe her.
You told the police that Tag and New Amsterdam were like oil and water.
Did I? How odd.
It's time you told us the truth, Mrs. Vanderhook.
You're good. I like you. Yes, if you must know, the bequest was extorted from me. My reputation is the basis of my fortune, Miss Carmichael. Unfortunately, that makes me uniquely vulnerable to scandal. Somebody saw an opening and seized it. I would have been more forthcoming if I thought this had anything to do with my son's murder.
But Tag did figure in this scheme, didn't he? We've seen the video.
You have? That's not exactly the sort of thing that makes a mother proud, but then making mother proud was never very high on Tag's to-do list.
What we want to know is, who else knew about it? Who was extorting you?
But surely you've already guessed. Our beloved headmistress, Karen Boersma. Though how she got a hold of the video, I'll never know.
Her son was dead, though. But it might have been him. The father or something like that.
She hauled Harrison into her office right after the fight. She must have forced it out of him then. It would explain why she didn't expel him.
However she got it, she understood immediately what it could do to my reputation. The son of Trisha Vanderhook? Forcing himself on some inebriated little tramp? On camera yet? The press would fight to get their claws on the footage. The price was steep, but it wasn't too much to pay for a guarantee that the video wouldn't get out. So I paid up, and that was the end of it.
Did Tag know you were being blackmailed on account of him?
No. As far as he knew, there were only 2 people in the world who knew about his little excursion into filmmaking, and one of them was dead.
Oh no. Whoops.
Tag bragged to Franklin Bedford that the video was a box office hit.
Did he? Oh, how tacky.
He knew somebody was making money off it.
Yes, I suppose I did let the secret slip out.
When did you tell Tag about your arrangement with Mrs. Borsma?
April Fool's Day.
Probably when they got in that fight.
He'd gone and wrecked his Maserati again, and he was demanding I should get it fixed for him. For once I put my foot down. Well, he flew into a childish rage, called me a cheapskate, started screaming about how I never did anything for him. So I let him know exactly what his shenanigans had cost me. It shut him up.
It must have been a nasty shock seeing Tag's video.
What sort of reaction are you attempting to provoke here, counselor? Outrage? Tears? Bitter recriminations against my dead child? Sorry to disappoint you. My feelings are my own business.
Mrs. Borsma guaranteed that the video wouldn't get out? How could you be confident she wouldn't turn around and extort more money out of you next year?
I made sure she couldn't do that. In exchange for my generous donation, she gave me an insurance packet.
Meaning?
A handwritten statement of what she'd done, signed and dated. If the video gets out, so does her confession. Mutually assured destruction.
Hello, Johnson.
Always good for keeping hostile superpowers quiet.
Do you still have this statement?
Yes, and I intend to hold on to it, unless you can prove this has something to do with Tag's murder.
Tag made a comment about the video, that he was planning to get his share of the box office. Do you have any idea what he meant by that?
A few days before he died, Tag informed me that he no longer needed my money. He said he'd found another way to pay for the Maserati.
Did he say what that was?
I asked, but all he would say was, "A good example is the best sermon."
Extortion seems to be going around this season.
Right?
I think we found your son's murderer.
Franklin Bedford
was framed.
Oh, I should have said the...
By Mrs. Borsma.
Yep.
She put that metal in his mouth, and she planted the gun in his locker.
But why? That little matter between her and me was resolved to our mutual satisfaction.
But not to Tag's satisfaction. He saw how his headmistress had profited off his video, and he figured turnabout was fair play. After all, you're not the only one who can be severely damaged by a scandal. Probably never realized how far she might go to avoid one.
Tag? Extort Karen Borsma? He might be reckless enough to try it, I'll grant you, but it would have been his word against hers. He had nothing to hold against her unless... Excuse me a minute, would you? The insurance policy is gone. Karen Borsma's signed confession. It's missing from the safe.
Did you make a copy of it?
No. He's the only one who could have taken it. But could he really be reckless enough to... Look who I'm talking about. Of course he could.
We can bring her to justice without it, if you'll agree to testify.
No, absolutely not. As I've explained to you, I can't afford scandal.
But what about Tag?
If trashing my reputation could bring him back, I'd do it in a heartbeat. But it wouldn't. Tag's dead, but the Vanderhook name still lives. Its power is based on perception.
Mine is based on truth, and if you won't help me expose the truth about who killed Tag, I'll find someone who can.
New Amsterdam Preparatory Academy.
Could I speak to Mrs. Boersma, please? This is Franklin Bedford. I feel kind of funny about this. I mean, she's my headmistress.
And she framed you for murder. Do you want to see her get away with it?
No, wait. But I don't know what to say to her.
You don't want to get her mad or scared, but you do want to let her know you're onto her game and you want a piece of the action. Play it exactly the way Tag would have played it.
We'll cue you along. You'll be fine.
Franklin, how nice of you to call. I was so relieved when they dropped the charges against you. Of course, I never stopped believing in your innocence.
Thanks.
I'm sorry that the board voted to drop you from the class roster. Purely a business decision, you understand. I assume that's why you're calling. You want me to reinstate you?
Say yes.
Yeah, that's what I want.
I'm afraid, well, the board has a point in that with all the publicity surrounding your case, reinstating you now would be too disruptive. Perhaps we can arrange for you to continue your lessons at home until the scandal subsides.
Tell her there's another scandal she should be worried about.
There's another scandal you should be worried about.
What's that?
Tell her you know about the video.
I know about the video. The one that Tag made.
I don't know what you're talking about, and I certainly don't know why it should concern me. Now, I'm quite busy, as you can imagine, so I'm afraid I must cut our little conversation short. Take care, Franklin.
I think we pushed it too hard.
New Amsterdam Preparatory Academy.
Could I speak to Mrs. Boersma, please? This is Franklin Bedford. I feel kind of funny about this. I mean, she's my headmistress.
Pokemon in chat. So if it's not that
and she framed you for murder. Do you want to see her get away with it?
No, wait. But I don't know what to say to her.
You don't want to get her mad or scared, but you do want to let her know you're onto her game and you want a piece of the action. Play it exactly the way Tag would have played it.
We'll cue you along. You'll be fine.
Franklin, how nice of you to call. I was so relieved when they dropped the charges against you. Of course, I never stopped believing in your innocence.
Thanks.
I'm sorry that the board voted to drop you from the class roster. Purely a business decision, you understand. I assume that's why you're calling. You want me to reinstate you?
Say yes.
Yeah, that's what I want.
I'm afraid, well, the board has a point in that with all the publicity surrounding your case, reinstating you now would be too disruptive. Perhaps we can arrange for you to continue your lessons at home until the scandal subsides.
Tell her there's another scandal she should be worried about.
There's another scandal you should be worried about.
What's that?
Tell her you know where the new gym came from.
I know where the new gym came from.
Of course, everybody does. It was a very generous gift from Trisha Vanderhook.
You've got a copy of her confession.
Nah, that gym was no gift. I've got a copy of a paper here that says it was blackmail.
What do you want from me?
Tell her you want to meet.
Let's meet in, like, talk things over.
Where?
Central Park Carousel.
Central Park, by the carousel.
Don't take this the wrong way, Franklin, but it wouldn't do for me to be seen in public with you.
True.
Your office, right now.
I can come over to your office right now.
In the middle of the school day? How would that look?
Oh my gosh, really? Then the workout room.
The workout room. Midnight.
The workout room. Midnight tonight.
You do have a flair for the theatrical, don't you? All right. Merely out of curiosity, you understand. I'm not admitting to anything.
Mrs. Boersma,
What? What are you doing? How dare
you're
you?
under arrest for the murder of Tag Vanderhook.
You have no case against me.
Maybe not at the moment, but we will as soon as we pull the codes from this keypad lock. I'll lay you 7 to 1. The code you entered just now matches the one used on the day of the murder.
Listen, gentlemen, perhaps we can come to an arrangement. It isn't myself I'm thinking of. It's New Amsterdam Prep. A scandal would be very bad right now.
You should have thought of that before you launched your little extortion scheme.
I didn't set out to kill the boy, but he forced my hand. And anyway, he deserved it. He was a bully and a rapist and an extortionist to boot. Ending his vicious little life was a service to humanity.
Interesting defense. We'll see if the jury buys it.
Judge in the Boersma trial just passed sentence. 20 to life.
Like the man said, a good example is the best sermon.
Let's hope all his students were paying attention.
Verdict is in on the paternity test, too. Turns out Harrison was the father.
Happy endings all around at the Bedford house.
I don't know about that. We still don't have a lead on Harrison's killer. I kept hoping some new evidence would turn up at this trial, but no luck.
Maybe Tag did it after all.
If he did, he could have left us some proof before getting himself killed. I'd hate to go to my grave not knowing.
There's a lot we'll never know. Don't let it spoil your sleep.
That one was interesting. I thought it was the father, at least. So, until it was bribery and stuff. Fucking went 13 reasons why all over again. What do you mean by that? Yeah. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, there was some shit going on between that whole thing. Oh, high school dickheads gotta love it, right? That was more being a dickhead. That was a whole lot more than just being a dickhead, though. we got 2 stars on that one. Resolution.
In the criminal justice system, the people are represented by 2 separate yet equally important groups: the police who investigate crime and the district attorneys who
I
prosecute
think I
the
have to get
offenders.
more paper.
These are their stories.
Have one more.
Hey man, someone just fell off the bridge. What the hell? The protesters grabbed him and threw him over. Yeah, this is Fontana down at the protest. Just got a report of a man being thrown off a bridge. I need the harbor unit down here quick. Oh, and gotta call homicide.
Hey, Fontana.
That divers just pulled him out, Detective. I had him hold off. Thought you might like the first look.
Now let's have a look.
Base key note wallet. Holy moly.
Yuck. What is this stuff?
It's from the East River, so you probably don't want to know.
That looks like a note right there.
Man, this is just disgusting. What's this? A note? Consider this a dress rehearsal. The next time will be real. Giles Bedford is a murderer. If he is not brought to justice, we will bring it to him. Six Semper Tyrannis. Signed, the 99.
Okay, so
Handcuffed to his wrist and locked. I thought this kind of thing only happened in spy movies. Ugh.
I don't see the wallet. Maybe a key in this area?
Ugh. Duct tape across the hand. Strange. What's underneath? Small key. Maybe for a locker or briefcase.
Where would the wallet be?
Key fits.
There we go.
A bunch of fake bills. Yeah, this guy's a real prankster. Giles Bedford? That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
You know this guy?
Yeah, Giles Bedford, CEO of Bedford Capital, father of Harrison Bedford, the kid who got killed in the preppy jogger case.
How does Wallet get here?
Ooh. Okay, so Bedford. Harrison are jogging.
What the hell? Is this a mannequin?
Looks like it. Maybe somebody's idea of street theater.
Yeah, well, maybe somebody is going to pay for dragging me out here on a Sunday. Let's see what else we got.
Man, does any of this mean anything to you?
Yeah, a lot, actually. I met this guy Bedford during the investigation of his son's murder back in 1998. Looks like someone thinks he might have done it.
And it looks like they want him dead.
Fontana, I need to find the person who wrote this note. What happened to the guy who reported the crime to you?
Damn, sorry, Detective. He just ran back in the crowd before I knew what the hell happened. I'll start a canvass of the bridge right away.
The sooner the better.
Okay, so I mean, I did just fine. They said mannequin. I didn't think I was supposed to like circle the face.
Hey, Fontana.
That driver's just pulled him out, Detective. I had him hold off. Thought you might like the first look.
Now let's have a look.
Yeah. So we're supposed to do
Yuck.
this.
What is this stuff?
It's from the East River, so you probably don't want to know.
What the hell? Is this a mannequin?
Looks like it. Maybe somebody's idea of street theater.
Yeah, well, maybe somebody is going to pay for dragging me out here on a Sunday. Let's see what else we got. Man, this is just disgusting. What's this? A note? Consider this a dress rehearsal. The next
Pokemon in chat.
time will be real. Giles Bedford is a murderer. If he is not brought to justice, we will bring it to him. 6 Semper Tyrannis. Signed, the 99. Ugh. Duct tape across the hand. Strange. What's underneath? Small key. Maybe for a locker or a briefcase. Handcuffed to his wrist and locked. I thought this kind of thing only happened in spy movies. Key fits. A bunch of fake bills. Yeah, this guy's a real prankster.
Hello, game.
Giles Bedford? That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
You know this guy?
Yeah, Giles Bedford, CEO of Bedford Capital, father of Harrison Bedford, the kid who got killed in the preppy jogger case.
How does Wallach get here?
Probably because he got that girl pregnant.
Man,
and he's
does any
mad.
of this mean anything to you?
Yeah, a lot, actually. I met this guy Bedford during the investigation of his son's murder back in 1998. Looks like someone thinks he might have done it.
And it looks like they want him dead.
Fontana, I need to find the person who wrote this note. What happened to the guy who reported the crime to you?
Damn, sorry, Detective. He just ran back in the crowd before I knew what the hell happened. I'll start a canvass of the bridge right away.
The sooner the better.
There we go.
I'm Detective Curtis. I'm looking for Giles Bedford. What happened?
Myocardial infarction. Heart attack. Mr. Bedford was admitted earlier. We did an emergency bypass, and he's stabilized now.
I need to talk to him about an incident.
Sorry, that's totally out of the question.
Look, there's been a threat against his life. I'd appreciate your cooperation.
No, I mean he's completely unconscious, sedated. But I'll try to tell you anything I can.
What precipitated his heart attack?
I'm not entirely sure. A good Samaritan admitted him. Dropped Giles off at the emergency room around 9 a.m., but didn't identify himself to the nursing staff. I was in surgery all morning till 11, and Giles wasn't lucid enough to describe him. He has been under a lot of stress recently, though. I've been treating him for it.
Can you think of anyone who might have made threats against Mr. Bedford recently?
No, not offhand. Although he certainly was rattled by some run-ins he had with the Occupy Wall Street crowd.
Oh? What happened?
Anonymous email threats from the 99%. He said he felt vulnerable. He asked for a refill on an old prescription.
What prescription did he ask for?
An anti-anxiety drug called Banaxylene.
Could it have caused the heart attack?
Banaxylene can have some nasty side effects, but heart failure isn't one of them. Plus, Giles was on a prolonged course before, so I doubt there's a connection. I only needed to monitor him every 180 days.
Before when?
Spring of '98, I think.
So, around the time of his son's murder.
Shortly before, actually. Yes, tragedy. And he was already under so much other stress.
You said Mr. Bedford was already under stress before the murder?
Well, at that time, he discovered his son's high school girlfriend was pregnant. As any father can tell you, it was not happy news. He was furious. It was no real secret that Mr. Bedford didn't think Allison came from the right background.
And Harrison still told him?
Oh, no, I did. The kids came to me for the test, and she being a minor, I thought it best to tell Mr. Bedford.
What happened after that?
I assume it all worked out. He's a very happy grandfather now.
Anything suspicious about his condition when he was admitted?
No, other than the circumstances, he appeared normal.
No physical injuries, contusions, needle marks?
No, I checked him thoroughly myself.
And all his personal effects were with him?
Yes, everything.
His wallet was missing. Whoever took it was connected to this incident on the bridge somehow. You know any Latin?
Yes, a little, I suppose.
Sic semper tyrannis mean anything to you?
Thus always to tyrants. Supposedly what Marcus Brutus said immediately before he killed Julius Caesar. Oh, and don't forget John Wilkes Booth.
Where were you this morning, if you don't mind my asking?
I was in surgery, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. with Dr. Schomburg.
Oh, wait.
Thanks. I'll need his number, though, just to double check.
Really, Detective. I prefer to keep my patients alive. It's bad business to try and murder them.
Is there anything else you can tell me about Giles Bedford? Unusual calls? Erratic behavior?
Yep.
Understood. Sorry, that was the new acting CEO of Bedford Industries. She requested I not speak to anyone without corporate representation. You better speak with her directly.
Thanks, I will. What do you got for me?
Well, I couldn't find the guy, so I asked around. Photographers, video bloggers, anyone who might have had footage of the crowd.
And?
You kidding me? You'd think I was arresting their mother for the dirty looks they were giving me. Anyway, I got some footage of a few of the ATM machines around here. The banks
Yes,
were
I
plenty
do.
happy to help me out.
But it's
That's
going to
your
be
guy.
decorated all year round.
Any ID?
I'm working on it. At least now I got a picture. I got tired of asking, hey, you seen any angry, scruffy guys around?
All right. Keep me updated. Hey, Benson, it's Curtis. Can you meet me at Bedford Capitol in Midtown? I got an interview and I could use your help. Secretary said she was in a meeting.
Play this how you like, but let's not share evidence if we can. There's a few details we probably shouldn't let everyone know just yet.
Yeah, I got you.
Detective Curtis, long time no see.
Allison Conway? You're the acting CEO?
That's right.
Dr. Markovich didn't mention your name. This is Detective Benson.
Pleasure. Now, I'm a very busy woman at the moment. I don't have time to talk, unless you've got a new lead on Harrison's murder.
I've got a new lead on Harrison's murder.
Great. You've got 5 minutes.
Did Giles receive any threats he was worried about recently?
Threats? No, nothing like that.
Hello, Smoke. Yeah, we're just gonna do like St. Patty's and Easter and all the holidays. Yeah. How you doing, Smoke?
His doctor mentioned anonymous email threats from the 99%.
I'm sure that was just spam. He wasn't taking them seriously. It didn't bother him.
Yeah. Did it bother him? Is that true? I don't think so. I think it did bother him. Yeah.
His doctor also told us Giles said he felt vulnerable.
Hearsay, Detective.
We're not in court. He also asked for a refill on his anti-anxiety medication. Why'd you put a stop to my interview with Dr. Markovich?
It wasn't personal, Detective. I have a legal and ethical obligation to protect the company.
Well, yeah, she's telling the truth.
Giles Bedford is the founder of this firm, and you were questioning his personal physician. It was inappropriate at best. As CEO, I can't stand by and let a police investigation further destabilize an already very unstable situation. I'm sure you understand.
It's Giles Bedford who may be in danger here. Allison, there's no way to break this gently. My lead suspect right now in Harrison's murder is his father, Giles.
Really? Is that all you got? Because that is utterly ridiculous. If it weren't potentially slanderous, I'd be laughing. Giles Bedford loved his son. I will back Giles all the way on this. I was there, Detective.
I'm not the only one who thinks he could have done this.
Okay, who else? Share your evidence.
Oh, no, probably too early.
I'm sorry, Allison. I can't share that kind of information with you.
Then we're wasting each other's time. Where's Detective Briscoe? I'd like to talk to him if you don't mind.
You can't.
Why not?
He's dead.
Oh.
He passed away a couple years ago.
Oh, God, I'm sorry. He was your partner.
Allison, this is obviously a difficult time for you. We don't want to add to the stress here. We just want to make sure no one is trying to hurt Giles.
Thanks.
Do you know if Giles has any other relatives who could help us investigate?
His wife passed many years ago, and Harrison, of course, is gone. No one else.
I thought his wife was still alive. Yeah. Oh, and his son, yeah, his youngest son.
Didn't he have another son?
Franklin.
Oh, right. God. Yes, Franklin, of course. Sorry, he's in Minnesota. Decided to drop out. Gave up his inheritance. Cut all ties.
Was Giles ever cold to you?
How do you mean?
Did he ever give you reason to think maybe he didn't approve? I mean, it must have been hard, stepping into the Bedford social strata.
No, there was never a problem.
We heard that maybe Giles had a difficult time accepting you and Harrison as a couple.
Oh, that? It's been overblown. And besides, look at me now. Things worked out just fine, didn't they?
Well, take a look at this. You look familiar?
No.
Allison, if you really want to protect Mr. Bedford, then at least tell us who this guy is. He may want to hurt him.
I can't be sure. Maybe it's not.
Tell us, please.
It's Franklin. Harrison's little brother. Giles' other son. He used to have a crush on me. I never felt the same. But I haven't seen him in 10 years, not since he moved away.
Looks like he's back.
You arrested him once, remember? Falsely.
Oh yeah, the prep school murder. This is the same kid?
He's gone through a lot of changes since then. I guess we all have.
Would he have any reason to want to hurt your father?
Hard to say. Franklin got more and more unpredictable after college. Mood swings. Some days he loved Giles, other days Giles was an evil corporate tyrant.
Do you know where we could find him?
No. Honestly, he hasn't been in touch.
Thanks, Allison. Let us know if he contacts you.
Pokemon in chat. We'll do good.
Dead end.
No one knows where Franklin is.
And no one will talk to us about the Central Park case.
You know, at this point, I'm thinking we should look at Franklin for that one, too.
What?
How else would he know so much about it? It's the simplest explanation, Curtis. He killed his brother over a girl. Don't tell me you haven't seen that one a million times.
Yeah, I have. And while you might kill your brother over a lot of things, you don't hire a hitman to do it.
Maybe if you'd never gotten your hands dirty doing anything else in life. So, Allison never saw her attacker?
Her memory comes and goes. Plus, CSU told us that she was lying face down when she was shot.
How are we going to break this? What would Lenny have done?
Work the leads. You'd go back and re-interview everyone again.
Old school.
Yeah, you know what? I just thought of someone who might be motivated to talk to us now. Mickey Trevino.
Right. He's probably getting sick of prison. Maybe he wants to deal.
Mickey Trevino. Thanks for taking time out of your busy day to come visit us.
Detective Curtis. Always a pleasure.
I got some more questions for you, Mickey.
About Pop? You can turn right around and leave then, because I got nothing to say.
What about your connection to a certain 9mm? What about a guy named Frank Vincenzo Jr.?
Depends, but I don't do favors. So we talking some kind of deal here?
Depends. What do you got for me?
Ask away.
Give me something for the DA, Mickey.
All right. Remember when they shot up Gnocchi Balistreri right in front of Tally's bar? That was Frank. And you know your big collar when you nabbed Billy Delegati? You were so proud. Well, Billy didn't do none of that stuff you sent him up for. It was all Frank. You want proof? Frank's widow still got the guns, only she don't know she got them. They were in a cardboard box underneath the good silver. Mostly 9mm. That was his weapon of choice. Go look, and then we'll talk about the preppy joggers.
Nope.
I didn't mention the Central Park case.
Yeah, I know.
Did you know Frank Vincenzo Jr. personally?
Sure, I knew him. He lived in the building.
Fuck.
You know, some of the old farts could be cranky bastards, complaining about the heat. So I'd go up to his apartment and fix it. But he was cool. He'd give me this homemade brandy. We used to drink it right out of the mason jars.
He ever talked to you about what he did for a living?
Yeah, a couple of years ago, Frank got diagnosed with stage 4 melanoma, cancer in his bones. He knew he was dying. After that, he started getting talkative.
You told me originally you found that gun. You want to change your story?
Yeah, Frank gave me the gun, actually. He said it was untraceable.
Yeah, well, it was, until you used it.
What's your question, Detective?
I told you he used it in a crime.
Yeah, so what?
But I didn't tell you which one. Did he?
Yeah, he said it made headlines. He said I'd know it. And he said the case went cold.
What else?
After the deal.
All right, Mickey. I'll talk to the DA. Meantime, don't leave town.
Very funny, Detective Curtis.
Hey, Benson. What's up? Jesus. I'll be right there.
We'll have to play that again and maybe we could get better. Thank you.
Mickey Trevino. Thanks for taking time out of your busy day to come visit us.
Detective Curtis. Always a pleasure.
I got some more questions for you, Mickey.
About Pop? Turn right around and leave then, because I got nothing to say.
What about your connection to a certain 9mm? What about a guy named Frank Vincenzo Jr.?
Depends, but I don't do favors. So we talking some kind of deal here?
Depends. What do you got for me?
Ask away.
Give me something for the DA, Mickey.
All right. Remember when they shot up Gnocchi Balistreri right in front of Tally's bar? That was Frank. And you know your big collar when you nabbed Billy Delegati? You were so proud. Well, Billy didn't do none of that stuff you sent him up for. It was all Frank. You want proof? Frank's widow still got the guns, only she don't know she got them. They're in a cardboard box underneath the good silver. Mostly 9mm. That was his weapon of choice. Go look, and then we'll talk about the preppy joggers.
I didn't mention the Central Park case.
Yeah, I know.
Did you know Frank Vincenzo Jr. personally?
Sure, I knew him. He lived in the building.
Nope, not that one either.
You know, some of the old farts could be cranky bastards, complaining about the heat. So I'd go up to his apartment and fix it. But he was cool. He'd give me this homemade brandy. We used to drink it right out of the mason jars.
He ever talked to you about what he did for a living?
Yeah, a couple of years ago, Frank got diagnosed with stage 4 melanoma, cancer in his bones. He knew he was dying. After that, he started getting talkative.
You told me originally you found that gun. You want to change your story?
Yeah, Frank gave me the gun, actually. He said it was untraceable.
Yeah, well, it was, until you used it.
What's your question, Detective?
I told you he used it in a crime.
Yeah, so what?
But I didn't tell you which one. Did he?
Yeah, he said it made headlines. He said I'd know it. And he said the case went cold.
What else?
After the deal.
All right, Mickey. I'll talk to the DA. Meantime, don't leave town.
Very funny, Detective Curtis.
Hey, Benson. What's up? Jesus. I'll be right there. Franklin, put the gun down.
Don't come any closer. I'll blow his head off. Swear to God I will.
Don't aggravate him. He's insane.
Shut up, tyrant.
Easy, Franklin. Easy.
Franklin, it's okay. We just want to talk.
Talk to him, Curtis. Maybe he'll listen to you.
What should I say?
Tell him whatever he wants to hear. Lie to him if you have to. Give up evidence. Whatever it takes to de-escalate the situation.
Got it.
I gave you fair warning. I told you justice was coming, but you did nothing.
That's not true, Franklin. I followed up on some very promising leads.
Leads, huh? What do you know that I don't already know, Detective?
I haven't exactly been sitting on my ass this whole time. Since I came back, this case is active again.
Fine. Then give me something to make me believe you're doing your homework.
The name Frank Vincenzo Jr. mean anything to you?
Yes. Yes, it does. That name keeps coming up, but I don't know why.
I can tell you if you'll listen to me.
Okay, I'm listening.
Frank Vincenzo Jr. is a hitman, and he's connected to the gun that killed Harrison and wounded Allison.
I knew it. A hitman.
This is ridiculous. I have no idea what he's talking about.
Yes, you do, old man. Tell him, Detective. Slam dunk it.
Hello, Grizzly. If I pick the wrong one, is he gonna shoot him though?
I got a guy, Mickey Trevino, with incontrovertible evidence connecting the 9mm to Frank Vincenzo Jr. and Frank to the murder.
There's only one way to get justice for my brother.
Don't throw your life away, Franklin.
Why? What do I have to live for? All I want is this. It's all I've wanted for 10 years.
Allison. She still loves you, Franklin.
What? Allison?
She couldn't show it before, but she can now. But she's unsure. So much time has passed.
If you kill your father, she'll only see you as a murderer.
You'll never be able to prove it to her.
Don't let that happen. Show her how much you care for her and the memory of your brother.
Allison loves me? Okay. Maybe you're right. I guess I just gave up hope that anyone would ever believe me.
Is that why you threw the mannequin off the bridge?
Yeah, I was with him, trying to convince him to confess when he had his heart attack.
Yes,
when I
you
dropped
did.
him off
Congrats.
at the hospital, I got the idea to stage his death. I hope maybe the newspapers or bloggers would pick up the story.
The Tom too.
You're delusional, son.
Yeah, well, the jury's still out on that, Mr. Bedford.
I've looked through the file, Detective, but I have to admit, I'm not seeing enough to put Giles Bedford away for his son Harrison's murder.
We've got the makings of a good circumstantial case, Mike.
That's not the issue. A jury is going to see Bedford as a grieving father. You're going to have to convince them that he's a murderer.
Let me walk you through how I see it.
The first question the jury is going to ask is, what's the motive here? Why would Giles Bedford kill his own son?
You got something for us, Curtis?
Bedford found out his son's girlfriend was pregnant. From what Franklin and Allison have told us, he wasn't a big fan of the relationship.
So he killed his son? How does that add up?
It doesn't, which is why it makes sense.
Nope.
She's right. Both Mickey Trevino and Frank's widow have told us independently that the hit went wrong. The widow said Vincenzo never got paid. My working theory is that Bedford paid to have Allison killed, but during the attack, Harrison somehow got in the way.
That I can understand. I'm betting a jury can see it that way too.
Mickey Trevino will testify that Frank Vincenzo Jr. told him he committed this murder.
And Bedford's defense lawyer will throw out the testimony. It's all hearsay, Detective.
Not necessarily, Mike. The statement may fall under one of the hearsay exceptions. Curtis, what can you tell us about it?
I don't know. What are the exceptions?
Okay, there's present sense impression, meaning something that was happening at the moment.
Pokemon.
Within a 30 to 40 second window.
There's also an exception for any statement made as part of a regular business record.
And there's present physical condition, which would be a statement made to anyone about the declarant's current physical condition. Any of those fit Trevino's evidence?
I think so. No.
Sorry,
Okay.
from what I heard, none of those quite fit.
Hang on, there are a few more. There's another exception for a dying declaration, which apply to any statement made by Vincenzo if he knew he was dying.
And there's also former testimony, which would involve anything Vincenzo said during previous sworn testimony.
And the excited utterance, if Vincenzo said something in the heat of the moment, during or immediately after the crime.
Those fit, yes. Oh, shit. Former testimony then? Nope.
I think we could work with dying declaration.
Oh, really? Why?
Mickey told me Vincenzo started getting chatty after he was diagnosed with terminal stage cancer.
That's right.
Unusual, but I think it qualifies. Mike?
I think you could make a jury see that as a deathbed confession. Go with it.
I also learned from Bedford's doctor that he's being treated for anxiety.
Interesting, but not definitive. What's he being treated with?
Go to my notes.
Benaxaline.
That's a pretty common medication. As I understand, there aren't any significant side effects.
Actually, his doctor mentioned that Benaxaline had some nasty side effects.
And it gets even better, Mike. I remember a case about last year. Newlyweds. She kills him completely out of the blue. Turns out she's on Benaxaline and has these episodes of uncontrollable rage. She stops the meds and suddenly she's fine.
Great story, but how does that help us? Our crime happened 13 years ago.
Curtis, anything that can help us here?
The good doctor also told us Bedford first took Benaxaline for anxiety in the weeks before the shooting.
We're damn lucky this physician likes to talk.
I think he honestly believes that Bedford has nothing to hide.
All right, detective. You convinced me. Bedford paid a hitman to take care of a problem for him. His son was a tragic accident, yes, but that doesn't let him off the hook for the murder. And I'm throwing the charge of attempted murder on top. Let's not forget the price paid by Allison Conway in all this. I've looked through the file, detective, but I have to admit, I'm not seeing enough to put Giles Bedford away for his son Harrison's murder.
We've got the makings of a good circumstantial case, Mike.
That's not the issue. A jury is going to see Bedford as a grieving father. You're going to have to convince them that he's a murderer.
Let me walk you through how I see it.
The first question the jury is going to ask is, what's the motive here? Why would Giles Bedford kill his own son?
You got something for us, Curtis?
Bedford found out his son's girlfriend was pregnant. From what Franklin and Allison have told us, he wasn't a big fan of the relationship.
So he killed his son? How does that add up?
It doesn't, which is why it makes sense.
She's right. Both Mickey Trevino and Frank's widow have told us independently that the hit went wrong. The widow said Vincenzo never got paid. My working theory is that Bedford paid to have Allison killed, but during the attack, Harrison somehow got in the way.
That I can understand. I'm betting a jury can see it that way too.
Mickey Trevino will testify that Frank Vincenzo Jr. told him he committed this murder.
And Bedford's defense lawyer will throw out the testimony. It's all hearsay, detective.
Not necessarily, Mike. The statement may fall under one of the hearsay exceptions. Curtis, what can you tell us about it?
I don't know. What are the exceptions?
Okay, there's present sense impression, meaning something that was happening at the moment, within a 30 to 40 second window.
There's also an exception for any statement made as part of a regular business record.
And there's present physical condition, which would be a statement made to anyone about the declarant's current physical condition. Any of those fit Trevino's evidence?
Sorry, from what I heard, none of those quite fit.
Hang on, there are a few more. There's another exception for a dying declaration, which apply to any statement made by Vincenzo if he knew he was dying.
And there's also former testimony, which would involve anything Vincenzo said during previous sworn testimony.
And the excited utterance if Vincenzo said something in the heat of the moment during or immediately after the crime.
I think we could work with dying declaration.
Oh, really? Why?
Mickey told me Vincenzo started getting chatty after he was diagnosed with terminal stage cancer.
Unusual, but I think it qualifies. Mike?
I think you could make a jury see that as a deathbed confession. Go with it.
I also learned from Bedford's doctor that he's being treated for anxiety.
Interesting, but not definitive. What's he being treated with?
Benaxaline.
That's a pretty common medication. As I understand, there aren't any significant side effects.
Actually, his doctor mentioned that Benaxaline had some nasty side effects.
And it gets even better, Mike. I remember a case about last year. Newlyweds. She kills him completely out of the blue. Turns out she's on Benaxaline and has these episodes of uncontrollable rage. She stops the meds and suddenly she's fine.
Great story, but how does that help us? Our crime happened 13 years ago.
Curtis, anything that can help us here?
The good doctor also told us Bedford first took Benaxaline for anxiety in the weeks before the shooting.
We're damn lucky this physician likes to talk.
I think he honestly believes that Bedford has nothing to hide.
All right, detective. You convinced me. Bedford paid a hitman to take care of a problem for him. His son was a tragic accident, yes, but that doesn't let him off the hook for the murder. And I'm throwing the charge of attempted murder on top. Let's not forget the price paid by Allison Conway in all this.
Thank you for joining us today, Franklin. As Mr. Bedford's only surviving son, it can't be easy for you to testify against him, especially in the murder of your brother.
That's how strongly I believe he's guilty.
Franklin, please tell the court what Giles Bedford, your father, thought of Allison Conway when he first met her.
He didn't like her. At dinner later, he said to me, "She's a gold-digging tramp."
Why would he think that?
Dad didn't feel Allison came from the right background.
So, safe to say, at the time of the shooting, there was no love lost between Giles Bedford and Allison Conway.
Yeah, that's right.
Your brother Harrison, what were his plans around the time of the murder?
He was going to go to college, get into the firm, become the next CEO probably. That's what my dad wanted for him.
And did the plans change when he found out Allison was pregnant?
Yeah, he told me he wanted to drop out and live with her. He said this was the perfect time to escape Bedford Castle, as he called it.
Objection, Your Honor. This is hearsay. Regrettably, we can't cross-examine the victim to establish the veracity of the statement.
Sustained. Miss Carmichael, try and find another tack with this witness.
Nope. Franklin, did Allison Conway tell you anything about the situation?
Yeah, actually. We were pretty close, back then anyway. She said she and Harrison were planning on getting a place. He was going to go to City College, and she was going to finish up high school and look after the baby.
And as for Giles Bedford?
She told me she was afraid of what he would do when he found out.
How would you describe your relationship with your father?
Strained, Miss Carmichael. I found myself pointing a gun at his head not too awfully long ago.
Why?
Because I believe he killed my brother Harrison, and I believe that his position of privilege and wealth has kept him from justice.
Your Honor, how is this relevant to the murder of Harrison Bedford?
It's not. Rein it in, counselor.
Franklin, why don't you tell us what kinds of behavior your father displayed back in those days?
Well, he was stressed out about the firm, and then about Harrison's future. He would get real dark at dinner, then go pop a Banaxoline and chase it with gin.
Objection! This witness is not the defendant's doctor. How could he possibly know what medication his father was on?
Franklin, can you tell the court how you knew your father was taking Banaxoline?
Little orange pills with the word Banaxoline on them? Dead giveaway, Miss Carmichael. Anyway, sometimes it helped, sometimes it just made him crazier. Dad's an addict, whether he wants to admit it or not.
Banaxoline, a drug with known side effects that include bouts of uncontrollable rage and even, in the most extreme cases, murder. People submit a case study of Banaxoline and its links to aggression and violence. Now, while under the influence of this unpredictable medication and finding out Allison was pregnant, he would have gone ballistic, right?
Objection! Calls for speculation.
It's his own father. Are you saying Franklin can't imagine how his own father would have reacted?
Speculation is speculation, counselor. Leave it alone.
Withdrawn. Franklin, from everything you witnessed about your father's mood and behavior, do you believe he's capable of killing his own son?
Yes, Miss Carmichael, I do. He's a tyrant. A man obsessed with wealth and his family status. And I believe he's mentally unstable. So yes, I think he killed my brother.
Thank you. No further questions.
Mr. Bedford, may I call you Franklin?
Yeah, Mr. Bedford is my father.
This is quite an accusation you've leveled against your own father.
Pokemon in chat.
Father even. Tell us, do you have any proof?
Do I need proof, man? Isn't that what this whole trial is for? No, I don't have proof. But the people of New York do.
So you don't have proof?
Objection. Defense is badgering the witness.
Overruled.
You testified a lot about your father's state of mind, but you also said that you don't have a very close relationship with him.
Wait a minute, I said it wasn't good. I never said it wasn't close. Too close for comfort, if you ask me.
Noted. When was the last time you spoke to your father?
Well, we met. It was right when he had his heart attack. I was the one who took him to the hospital.
Oh, so if you thought he was guilty, why not let him die right there? You were eager enough to kill him later.
I guess I felt guilty.
You did? Why?
I might very well have caused it, the heart attack. We argued. See, I accused him and it was intense.
What kind of son are you anyway? Scruffy-looking hippie attacking your father in his old age like that?
Ooh,
Objection.
You're an asshole.
Your Honor, this is off-the-charts badgering right here.
Agreed. Mr. Vance, keep it civil.
Sorry, Your Honor. There's just nothing worse than an ungrateful son.
Yeah,
Objection.
You're being a dick.
Your Honor, seriously?
Try that one more time, and I will bounce you out of this courtroom, Mr. Vance.
Apologies. Let's talk about the past now. Let's go back to the time of the murder. You say your father was angry with your brother, and so he killed him. Interesting theory, but who else was angry with Harrison?
I don't follow you.
Didn't you have a crush on Allison Conway? Weren't you jealous of your brother?
Yes, but no, you're twisting it.
You loved Allison Conway, and you killed your own brother in a jealous rage.
Objection. Where's the question here?
Sustained.
Tell us, Franklin, weren't you jealous enough of your brother to kill him?
Objection.
Badgering,
Defense
maybe?
is badgering the witness.
Overruled. You
Nope.
may not like it, but the question does have legitimate probative value. Sorry, counselor.
I did not kill my brother. I loved him. I idolized him. I wanted Allison, sure, but I would never have hurt Harrison to have her.
So you had a problem with Harrison's relationship, but not enough to resort to murder.
Yes, that's right.
Seems reasonable, and I imagine your father would probably say the exact same thing. No further questions.
Okay, I lost by 10. We'll continue.
Mr. Trevino, you are here to tell the court about your association with the late Mr. Frank Vincenzo and to testify to what he told you before he died.
That's right.
Mr. Vincenzo knew he was dying when he took you into his confidence, correct?
Yeah, he got diagnosed with terminal cancer. Only had a few months left. Guess he needed to get some stuff off his chest.
Can you tell the court what you knew about Frank Vincenzo Jr.?
Well, he was a guy from the building, an older guy. My dad warned me never to cross him. I got the idea he was connected. So when we started talking, he told me what he did.
And what was that?
He was a hitman, Mr. Cutter.
And his weapon of choice?
Shotgun.
Nope. You said 9mm, freaking lying ass.
You sure?
No, you're right, Mr. Cutter. It was a 9mm.
He gave you one of those weapons, didn't he?
That's correct.
And the weapon he gave you to help your father shoot Alexander Baran was the same weapon used to shoot Harrison Bedford in 1998. Did Mr. Vincenzo describe the crime to you?
Yeah, he told me how it happened. He tracked the kids through the park.
And what year was this?
1998.
The year of the Central Park murder. And what time of day?
It was a weekend. Lunchtime, I think.
Oh, shoot. Was it the correct time of the day? My daughter needed something. Help me out, people. Is that the correct time of the day or no? We'll say no. Correct. Whoop whoop. Not sure. Neither was I. That's why I just looked. I don't even know what one it was. Nope.
Really?
No, hang on. I remember now.
It's okay.
It was late afternoon, around dark. Yeah.
Late. After noon. Around dark time. That's okay.
Did Mr. Vincenzo describe any specifics of the crime? Anything to help authenticate his testimony?
Well, he shot the boy first, 2 times. The first hit him in the stomach, and then the second round went right through his heart. He said he made the girl lie down, face down, and then he shot her in the head, sort of from the side. He was real surprised she survived.
Allison Conway shot in the head while lying prone on the ground. Crime scene analysts confirmed this, and, most important, it was a detail the police kept out of the press. Only a witness could have known. Now, Mr. Trevino, the $64,000 question. Who hired Frank Vincenzo Jr. to kill Harrison Bedford?
Actually, you got your facts wrong, Mr. Cutter.
What?
Frankie told me he got hired to kill the girl, not the boyfriend.
So what happened?
The guy attacked Frankie, there was a fight, and both kids ended up shot.
And who hired him?
He told me it was Giles Bedford.
No, it's not true.
Thank you, Mr. Trevino.
Yeah, like I said, it went all wrong.
Mr. Trevino, let's start with something easy. Please state your current address.
My address? You kidding me?
Go on.
I'm at Altona Correctional Facility.
So, you're in jail.
Yes.
Convicted of a felony?
Yes.
Objection! Defense is improperly introducing the witness's criminal history to impeach his credibility.
Under FRE 609A, it's allowed, Your Honor.
He's got you there, Mr. Cutter. Please, continue.
Did you take a deal in exchange for your testimony?
Yes.
I imagine the deal got sweeter the more you had to say about my client.
Objection! Speculation.
Overruled.
Isn't it true that in almost any other trial, this testimony would be considered hearsay and therefore completely inadmissible?
Objection. I didn't hear a question there, Your Honor.
Overruled. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, let me categorize Mr. Trevino's testimony for you. It is a story told by a convicted felon in exchange for reduced punishment. Even if it's true, these are the words of a dying assassin, a man with no morals whatsoever. Why would any reasonable person ever rate this against the innocence of a man who has been a pillar of New York society for his entire life?
Objection.
That's speculation, I would think.
Speculation.
Overruled.
I
Oh my
have no
God.
further questions for this
Not noticeable on this one.
witness.
We're gonna replay that one, just because I know he needs to
Mr.
go
Trevino,
to jail.
let's start with something easy. Please state your current address.
My address? You kidding me?
Go on.
I'm at Altona Correctional Facility.
So, you're in jail.
Yes.
Convicted of a felony?
Yes.
Objection. Defense is improperly introducing the witness's criminal history to impeach his credibility.
Under FRE 609A, it's allowed, Your Honor.
He's got you there, Mr. Cutter. Please, continue.
Did you take a deal in exchange for your testimony?
Yes.
I imagine the deal got sweeter the more you had to say about my client.
Objection. I didn't hear a question there, Your Honor.
Sustained.
I'll rephrase. Isn't it true your deal was contingent not just on your testimony, but the quality of that testimony?
What, you think the DA wants to hear me sit up here and talk about my cats? Of course my testimony has to be good.
Answer only the question I asked, Mr. Trevino.
Yes.
Isn't it true that in almost any other trial, this testimony would be considered hearsay and therefore completely inadmissible?
Objection.
Maybe no expert knowledge. He didn't really he's being an ass, but
Mr. Trevino is not a lawyer. He isn't expected to know that, nor is it relevant.
I agree. Move
there
on,
we
Mr.
go.
Vance.
Woo!
Sustained.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, let me categorize Mr. Trevino's testimony for you. It is a story told by a convicted felon in exchange for reduced punishment. Even if it's true, These are the words of a dying assassin, a man with no morals whatsoever. Why would any reasonable person ever rate this against the innocence of a man who has been a pillar of New York society for his entire life?
Objection. Your Honor, Mr. Vance is arguing his case, not questioning the witness.
Sustained. Cut it out, counselor.
I have no further questions for this witness.
There we go.
The people rest their case, Your Honor.
Very well. And Mr. Vance?
Motion to dismiss the charges against my client. The people have failed to adequately meet the burden of proof. The state must prove the critical facts of the case to the appropriate level of certainty. They have not done so.
I don't know. I heard some pretty good juice, Mr. Vance. I'm denying your motion. Call your witnesses.
We call Allison Conway to the stand. Miss Conway, can you describe your relationship with the defendant?
Yes, Giles, Mr. Bedford is the grandfather to my child. His son Harrison and I were involved in high school. And now, of course, he is the CEO of the corporation I work for.
How many years have you known him?
Since 1998.
In that time, have you ever seen him act violent or unpredictable? Miss Conway?
No. No, I never have.
Many people have said Mr. Bedford disapproved of your relationship, thought you were from the wrong side of the tracks. But this is rumor that's been blown out of proportion, correct?
Objection, Your Honor. The defense is leading Miss Conway through her testimony.
Sustained.
Can you describe how Mr. Bedford acted towards you and the baby after the murder?
He was nice. The whole family welcomed me and my son. He paid for my medical bills, and schooling. He paid for everything. He got me this job, told me I should work for him.
Miss Conway, is something wrong?
No, I'm fine.
So you think Mr. Bedford felt kindly toward you, maybe even like the daughter he never had?
I think that's leading still. Because that's asking a
Objection, Your
question.
Honor. Speculation. Miss Conway can't read Mr. Bedford's mind.
Sustained.
And in your opinion, did Mr. Bedford treat you like someone he was ashamed of or did not like?
No. No,
Oh, come on,
quite the opposite. More like he owed me something.
No further questions. Thank you, Miss Conway.
Miss Carmichael, your witness.
Miss Conway has given multiple depositions regarding the facts of this case, and we have no further need to question her.
Dr. Markovich, how long have you been treating Giles Bedford?
I've been the family doctor for over 13 years.
And in that time, did you treat him with Banaxylene?
Yes, I did. Mr. Bedford works in a very high-stress financial situation, and he wanted medication that would help him relax and be more effective.
Did you ever observe any side effects?
No, I did not, nor did he report any.
Have any of your patients or any patients you've heard of ever reported side effects while on Banaxylene?
I think you can object
Objection.
that one. Because it's irrelevant.
Relevance. The medical histories of other patients are completely irrelevant. The doctor is testifying about Mr. Bedford.
Sustained.
In the 13 years you have treated Mr. Bedford, have you ever seen him display aggressive or violent tendencies to anyone in his immediate family on medication or off it?
No, sir. No, I have not.
Good afternoon, Doctor. I just have a few questions for you today. A few things to clear up. How often did you check in on Giles Bedford?
Every 180 days.
So how can you say that you did or did not see any side effects? That's a half year of not seeing your patient. Anything could happen in that time. Read this disclaimer, please. It's the drug warning for Banaxylene.
This drug may make you dizzy or drowsy or cause blurred vision. Avoid alcoholic beverages Older adults may be more sensitive to the side effects of this drug, especially loss of coordination and drowsiness. Phenaxaline may cause symptoms including mental mood changes, sleep disturbance, increase in aggression, feelings of paranoia, or hallucinations.
Increase in aggression. You know that when you were treating Mr. Bedford?
I never knew Phenaxaline had any side effects until I was called to testify for this trial.
You told detectives that you knew Phenaxaline had, quote, some nasty side effects.
I did? Well, if they say so.
One final thing, Doctor. When detectives originally talked to you in Mr. Bedford's hospital room, you told them something very interesting.
I did?
Oh, yes. Do you remember what it was?
No.
I'll remind you. You told them when, exactly, Mr. Bedford discovered Allison Conway was pregnant. When you told him secretly.
Oh.
Remember when you said that was, relative to the date of the murder?
Sometime after.
No, you told Giles Bedford that Allison was pregnant before the murder. Before. He knew about the secret pregnancy because you told him. And he was angry. You said so yourself.
Yes, furious.
So furious, in fact, that he contacted Frank Vincenzo Jr. and arranged to have her shot dead. In cold blood.
Oh my God.
Objection, Your Honor.
Withdrawn. No further questions.
Allison, what are you doing here?
I want to talk.
As long as the trial is still underway, I'm afraid there's not much I can say to you.
Fine, so I'll do the talking. There's something I've tried very hard to push down, to forget, but it's coming back. Mr. Bedford always told me the baby was a surprise to him. He never, ever mentioned he knew about it beforehand. So when you said the name, it didn't click before.
What name?
Frank Vincenzo Jr. Can you show me a picture of him? Thank you.
Your Honor, the people call Allison Conway to the stand as a friendly witness.
Objection. What's going on here, Mike?
Both of you, approach.
Allison Conway recently had a breakthrough, and her memory is crucial to the people's case. We want to call her to testify.
I've had no warning of this.
She has additional evidence to present.
I'll move for a mistrial as soon as she leaves the stand.
And I will decide whether your motion has merit, Counselor, but not a moment before. Now, take a deep breath and listen to what your witness has to say. You introduced her. Now you get to take your lumps, Mr. Vance. Mr. Cutter, your witness.
Miss Conway, can you tell us why you're here today?
After I was shot, my memory was spotty, but over the years, I've been able to put some pieces back together.
And you recently remembered something about the shooting.
I haven't thought about that day in years. I've tried not to. My life was perfect in some ways. There was no reason to remember. But this trial, it's all coming back.
Hello, Lizzie.
Tell us about what you remember on the day of the shooting.
Being a lawyer
It was
right
a
now.
school day. I went to Harrison's house in the afternoon, like I usually did, but he wasn't there. Mr. Bedford said he sent him on an errand and he wouldn't be back soon. Mr. Bedford knew we had a track meet coming up, so he suggested I take a run in the park while I waited.
How was
He
your
would have
VR
his driver
gaming?
take me over there. I felt uncomfortable in the house, so I said fine and got changed. As I was about to leave, Harrison came back early. He asked where I was going, and when I told him, he said he wanted to come with me. He was scared about the pregnancy, but protective too. Proud, even. So it was just the two of us out for a run. Harrison didn't even bother changing. I remember he had this funny Argyle sweater on.
Is that true? Yes. Oh, really? Yeah, I don't know how to do any of that because I don't do VR. But I did pop in while I was cleaning, just to lurk.
Anyway, we got in the car and Harrison noticed right away. The driver, he was new. Harrison asked him his name and he told us. I remember it because it was a funny coincidence. He had the same name as Harrison's brother, Frank. When Detective
I did not
Curtis
hear
showed me
that.
the picture of
I
Frank
hate when people do
Vincenzo
that.
Jr., I knew what you had done. It wasn't enough you wanted the tramp from the wrong side of the tracks out of your son's life. You wanted me dead. And your unborn grandchild.
No. No.
Frank wasn't a driver. He was a hitman, hired to kill me. And he followed us into the park. But then Harrison fought back, protected me. And he ended up paying the ultimate price for your anger. When you realized what you had done, to assuage your dirty, rotten conscience, you took me in, paid my bills, bought my love and loyalty. You bastard!
Miss Conway.
Well, the truth is out, Giles. And now the whole world will know what you are. What you always were. Murderer.
Thank you, Allison. No further questions.
How long has the jury been out?
6 hours.
What do you think they'll come back with?
Lots of circumstantial evidence. Defense knocked us around pretty good.
Jury likes us.
Sure. But remember, all it takes is one.
One person to undo a decade of police work.
Lenny would be proud, Ray. I hope you know that.
Thanks, LT. Showtime.
Have you reached a verdict?
We have, Your Honor.
And how do you find?
On the count of murder in the first degree, we find the defendant, Giles Bedford, guilty.
And on the count of attempted murder?
Guilty.
We thank you for your service. Defendant is remanded into custody until sentencing.
Well, Vance has already filed his appeal.
Of course. We saw that coming a mile away.
Doesn't matter. You won today, and that's what's important.
And tomorrow, do it all over again.
That's how it worked when I was ADA. But tonight, we celebrate. Dinner's on me.
Hey, Lenny. How you doing? Look, I came out here. I just wanted to tell you. We got him. After all these years, we got him. It was nice having one last chance to work with you on the case. Funny. It really doesn't seem like that long ago. But you blink your eyes and everything's different. People disappear, faces change. But, well, at least the city is still the same. Anyways, thanks. Couldn't have done it without you, old man.
That doctor should have went and yeah, that doctor should have kept up with his patient so he knew the side effects of that medicine. So I believe the doctor should have got in trouble too. That's just my opinion though. So son of a bitch. Church? Really? 6,000? And it scared me. Demon? Seriously? Seriously? Oh, hell no. 50%? Ooh, you guys are getting there. Pro pie. What do you mean if that didn't scare me? saw you say, I saw you contribute. And then I turned around. What do you mean? That scared me. Why do you think I jumped? Oh, Lazy, if you need to do VR setup, you might be able to reach out to somebody. I know Church does VR, but I don't know if she does it on OBS. He's trying to get it set up on OBS, Church, but you know me, I don't do VR. I think those are all that I have. Yeah, I'll have to play through again. But I'll chat for a bit because it is a short stream today because I am going to go chat with a tattoo artist to see how much it's going to cost to do my other arm. I do it on OBS. Oh, so you do it on OBS. Just capture the game or window for the same way. How's it going, Demon? Did you find something to stream? Thank you. Appreciate it. And welcome in. Pokemon in chat. No. I see it, Demon. I have you up now. You're doing Apex, huh? What church? Nice. Yeah, what games do you play, Church, that are VR? You're doing Beat Saber. You do Devour on VR, Church. Am I reading that right? Isn't that Five Nights at Freddy's? I don't even play that game. I didn't even watch the movie. Yeah, I was about to say I don't think it is multiplayer. Yeah, I read it had him, but I didn't watch it. But of course, I don't know too much about it. My kids know more about that than I do, but I do not. I don't play I don't play those games. All right, I guess I'll have to put that on my to-do list to watch it. Why would you put scary games on VR? Like, why? Oh, why? Why? Like, if shit gets, if I get jumped and like scream on me just doing the, whoo, nah. Mm-mm. Like if I scream with just doing the PC scary games, I could imagine doing VR. Like I can only imagine it. I can't do VR, so oh my god. No wonder you don't jump much. You're crazy. You like that right in your face. Assassin's Creed. I've seen that. I don't have the game, but I've seen it. Backrooms. I think I've seen Backrooms too. I don't have it, but I think I've seen it. So what is the church up to today? Oh. Has to be a VR game to capture it, which would make sense. All right. Well, I'm gonna head out. I'll be back on tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern time again. Again, it'll be a short stream. Like I said, probably have a short stream throughout the whole week, except for on Friday when I come back at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Um, Doing a lot of things around the house and with the kids and stuff. So trying to get stuff done. Hope you all have a wonderful day and night, and I'll talk to you guys later. Let's go raid. Hi, demon. Thank you, thank you. My raid is still not working. Sounds good, Flame. Mwah. Thank you, thank you. I don't know why my raid is still not working. I don't know. I'll still have to see about that and figure it out. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful. Thank you all for the support and everything. Dashboard button works too. All right. Let's see. Oh my gosh, they have this all crazy. There we go. All right, everyone. Have a good one. Mwah. Thank you for all the support. Go check out a really, really cool person.